I don't know if I'm overvaluing what happened this weekend. The Vikings losing to the Lions and the Steelers beating the Ravens because divisional games and all that kind of stuff. I know weird stuff happens.
Yep.
But I also think the Lions are a better team than their record. They lost. I don't think they were a playoff team, but I think they really were a 4 or 5, 6 win team. They lost a lot of close games. The Steelers are visiting Minnesota. No Adam Thielen, maybe no Dalvin Cook.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vikings are a 3-point favorite. And I'm just weirded out. They officially said today that they're out. Mike Zimmer, Thielen is out. Mike Zimmer is coaching. He's going to be fired. He knows he's working on borrowed time right now. They're probably going to have to blow the whole thing up, which is disappointing because I saw this tweet today and it made a lot of sense to me. It came from Benjamin Solak. He says, in theory, you should be able to build a winner from decent quarterbacking from Kirk Cousins, solid head coaching from Mike Zimmer, and a good general manager in Rick Spielman. But Minnesota can't get over their mediocre hump, and now they're going to, the blow up seems inevitable. And then you got to go up against Cam Hayward, who I think is one of the most underrated defensive tackles in the league with the amount of disruption that he brings.
Mm-hmm.
And you're now talking TJ Watt, who's going to surpass the amount of sacks his brother JJ had at this point. I think right now they're tied for where JJ was with sacks. I saw today where they were for sacks when JJ's second year finished. That's where TJ is now, or whatever. So, or not second year, whatever. They're there. And then I saw this tweet again, which is, I think, opened up everything. It's a bedtime thought. The Steelers' two most important players are Big Ben and TJ Watt. They have players that they played well this year and in the past with no practice. Ben lives for those draw it up in the dirt and wing it situations. No time to prep for a Thursday game. I'm liking the Steelers, and it's true. Big Ben loves schoolyard football, right?
He does.
No game plan. Let's just
He's not schoolyard age anymore, though. That's the problem.
He's not, but I think if they can get the run game going, they can ground and pound it. And what I really liked about them with the Ravens last week that I didn't see for a couple of weeks was they got their physicality back. They were getting their identity of who the Steelers are. Am I wrong to think that it should at least be an even spread? Like, I know the Vikings are the home team, but I just don't see them as the favorite. Like, if I'm laying money, I'm taking the Steelers because I'm not giving the Vikings 3 points.
Well, the Vikings have been the NFC version of Jekyll and Hyde this year. I mean, they're 5-7. You look at, they beat Green Bay, they lose to Arizona by 1, yet you beat Detroit by 2 and then lose to Detroit by 2. And like you said, those division games are always a little wacky anyway. I mean, Google Monday night if you want to check that. But look at what Kirk Cousins has done this year. He's currently on pace, okay, to throw for 4,700 yards, 35 touchdowns and 4 picks. Currently, he has 3,300 yards, 25 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, 68% completion percentage. They said he's having a decent year, but last year Rodgers threw for 4,300, 48-5. Your boy in 2017 threw for 4,500, 32 touchdowns, 8 picks, had a 66% completion percentage. Like, he's throwing up. And then Brady also, in 2010, he had 3,900 yards, 36 touchdowns, 4 picks, 66% completion percentage. So he's putting up offensively similar numbers to three former MVP years from quarterbacks.
I'm gonna drop crazy. Though. For me,
What?
This was not a Kirk Cousins issue.
No. What I'm saying
always
I think they can score on anybody.
They can, but no Adam Thielen, no Dalvin Cook. That's 2 big pieces.
Well, I will say Thielen is a big loss, but Madison has been in there and he has gotten a lot of time with Cook being out.
It is
in the Vikings career and stuff.
In the Vikings depth, they basically have 3 starting running backs. I understand that. Dalvin Cook, he can be a game changer at times where Madison isn't a game changer to me. He's a solid back where I think Dalvin Cook, if you're screwed, he can bust off. He can just start going crazy and average 6 yards a carry if he needs to. Not every game, but he can be a game changer. But I think Thielen's going to be huge. I love Jefferson or Van Jefferson. I think he's great, but I think Thielen makes him better. It's always complimentary.
Yeah. But I think what I was trying to get to is the fact that I think some of them high-profile offenses, even with Thielen out of there, I think it's going to be very tough for the Vikings. But I think they can put up enough points where the Steelers really aren't built to score high volume of points. And I really think they're going to try to take advantage of the aggressiveness on that Steeler front. And then they're going to I think they're just going to try to, put a lot of points on them. I think that the Vikings could easily drop about 30 points on the Steelers and just make it a runaway.
Oh, wow. So you're okay with them being a 3-point favorite?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, it depends who shows up, Jekyll or Hyde. Like, I don't know who's going to show up.
And again, as I said, I don't know if I'm just overvaluing it. If it's because I think it's the same with the Steelers. Which Steelers team shows up? Is it going to be the physical Steelers team that bruises you, or is it going to be the Steelers team that gives up 230 rushing yards? Right? Like, and that's a big thing about the Steelers as well, because they've showed times of winning in the trenches on both sides of the ball, where they're running beautifully, where they're doing everything beautifully, and then they have times where they suck. And I think they held the Ravens. I know the Ravens are struggling to running back, so Lamar Jackson. They held them to 107 yards after giving up like 229, 270. Like it was, they actually played physical against Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you want to draw a comparable, the one that where I was coming from, the Bills lost to the Jaguars 9-6 and then hung 45 on the Jets. I know it's two different teams. I understand that, but that's the Jekyll and Hyde that I was referring to, as far as the Vikings are concerned.